What might your soul be trying to receive right now? Or, in other words, what are some of the messages that your soul is trying to validate? Welcome, everyone. Whether you're joining me live or catching the replay, I'm glad you're here. And I thought we'd spend a little bit of time together today pulling a few messages that I did pull earlier. And some of the reflections I received were very interesting for this infinite discovery season, the Gemini Sagittarius duality. And this is the dance of us learning how to be curious. Perhaps it's regarding a new path that's unfolding for the collective. Maybe it's exploring what themes might be showing up for you that hint at future possibilities. What kind of threads are you catching right now and are trying to catch your attention right now? And as always, take what resonates, leave the rest, trust your intuition, trust your internal compass, trust your own experience, in other words. And later on, towards the end, I want to do a short meditation with you centered around possibility, curiosity, and following what feels expansive. Let's see what wants to come through for the collective right now. So, the first message we have is a fork in the road. And as I sat with this energy, it felt a little less like a message about making a decision and more like a message about paying close attention, paying attention to your close surroundings, the messages. I was also getting the people around you with this monkey mind. Perhaps it's the monkey mind of your own doing, where maybe you're not there's something that keeps looping in your mind, and it's time to kind of pay attention what that conversation that conversation is that keeps coming up for you, that keeps returning, what possibility keeps finding its way back into your awareness, because life has a funny way of I feel like repeating itself when something is ready to be seen, and we're maybe like hesitating whether or not I'm able to see it or not. And this actually puts us in this crossroad, indecision, but also crossroads within us, like this duality within us that keeps building up. And again, it could be a recurring thought, it could be a dream, it could be something like some sort of sign or feeling, a curiosity that keeps coming back to you, something that keeps circling within your life right now. And so it's like really about you paying attention what that thread is for you today. And maybe it's simply asking you to notice what's standing in front of you. I feel like when this time of year, something I would probably ask myself is, what keeps finding its way back into my awareness right now? And how is that for me? How is it um, helping me with uncovering what makes me feel excited about, or what makes me feel expansive, what expands my energy, what about that thought expands my energy, or about that dream, or about that conversation. It could be a person, but the monkey mind, of course, sometimes gets in the way, where we overthink something, or we try to find out more information about something, while maybe you already have all the information you need. It's just a matter of connecting to your own inner wisdom of how that sign or that dream may be in resonance with where you are, or just may or may not resonate with you at all. So it's really just about kind of testing your wisdom right now and intuition, a perfect time to explore and kind of get in touch with your inner compass. The second one I have here is why, and I like that because it's like it's following the crossroad, and you're asking why. You're expanding your horizon in some way, where because once once I feel like we begin noticing what's showing up or what's keeping us awake, what kind of symbol or dream or reflection keeps coming back into our awareness, of course, the next question is why? Why does this matter to me? Why won't I let it go? Or why won't this person leave my subconscious? Or why can't I just kind of dissolve my attachments to that thing or person or dream or idea or that higher vision. So there's something that might be catching your attention right now, and sometimes we're so focused on figuring everything out that we forget to become curious. Yet curiosity this season often reveals more than certainty ever could. So perhaps this invite is there surfacing beneath the surface, that kind of invite for us to dive a little bit deeper, to explore what that thread, what that fork in the road is for us, that crossroad, that indecision of uh I feel like the indecision, coming back to the fork in the road, is because we contemplate or kind of get we feel like we're stuck in the middle, especially at times when we have to choose between several options. And usually we think that if we select this option, then I forfeit this option. And at times that's true. Um, but there's something about you following the thread that makes you feel the most excited, or just makes your heart flutter, um, or that you feel deeply about. Maybe not deeply about, but I feel like you'll know what that is. There's some sort of connection or some sort of idea or vision or long-term goal. And speaking of goals, we're actually going to be going into the Cancer season, which is opening another season here as part of the six master keys of transformation. If you want to learn more, check out soulescence.com, or just in my description, maybe discover what season you are ready to unlock for yourself. That opens your own process of transformation. But that essentially opening doors to the next season, where right now you're kind of staying curious, asking why, inquiring. Next season is going to be about nourishing that idea, nourishing that whatever that vision that catches your eye is for you. Next season, about June 21st to July 19th, 20th, it's going to be about nourishing that goal or dream. Okay. And so this is about staying curious, wondering, listening, exploring, because there may be something deeper here trying to get your attention. Mhm. And so, what keeps calling for your attention right now? And what might be trying to show you? What this thread that you're catching on, whether it's a dream or a thought, or a dream, like a dream that you've had in the night, or a dream that you are kind of um manifesting or envisioning, like it could be a goal, it could be some sort of um hopes, desires, right, in your life. These are beautiful oracle messages. And I feel like, once we begin noticing what matters here and why it matters, the next question becomes how we are going to walk it. And I feel like that's where the third reflection here shows up with the community. Community is about, and it's very actually important in this reading, because so many of us have learned how to carry things alone, how to figure everything out alone ourselves, how to keep moving forward, perhaps even when we're exhausted. Yet this message reminds me today, personally, and for the collective, that growth isn't always a solo journey. Sometimes clarity comes through conversation. And I'll be honest with you guys, I am personally not very good at, you would think that I'm here doing collective readings, being part of the community. You would think that I'm very well involved in community and I love my community, but there's something about, like, I understand certain people who do go through certain seasons where they've been hurt, or they feel the need to protect themselves, basically, that they don't want to go out there and reconnect with everyone. And it's not about reconnecting with everyone here with the community, it's about reconnecting with the people that you align with, the ones that are supportive, the ones that witness your journey, the ones that see you. And I feel like it's through sharing something we've been carrying quietly. This on its own builds a community. It's through sharing, it's through resonance, because community doesn't always mean a large group of people. Sometimes it's one conversation, maybe one friend, one mentor, one guide, one person who reminds us that we're not alone. And perhaps this message is also asking, are you allowing yourself to receive support? Which is actually going to be the next opening season of the Sacred Bridge. Many of us are very good at giving, but receiving can be an entirely different lesson, right? Where might support already be available to you that you may not see? And are you allowing yourself to receive this support? Okay. So very beautiful. And I wanted to share a bonus message with you as well, because really, and this is the most excited one that I am about, is the loyal heart. Before we move into actually um, sharing this further, let me see if I want to share it. Um, Hold on one second. Let me see if I want to share it. Just give me a second. All right, we'll just continue. All right. So yeah, so if you guys let me see. I'm just checking the chat room. Just one second. All right, we'll just continue. All right. So, and if one, by the way, if any one of these three messages spoke to you, leave a comment below. Perhaps it's the fork in the road. Perhaps you're questioning why, or maybe there's a sense of longing for community, because I'd love to know which one feels most relevant for you right now. Okay. That way I can maybe be of support for you during this time. I do want to pull now. The loyal heart you see on the screen here is the third theme, the third reflection here that I pulled. And really, the third, or actually the fourth here, is how true are you right now to your own personal journey? Okay. The loyal heart is about you staying true, you staying connected on your path. It's about recommitting, it's about being more devotional to your journey. It's also something I'm getting about being tested right now. Again, how committed you are on your journey of transformation. And yeah, it can be another person that comes into your life that will be that support system for you, that will be part of your community. I do see that for someone who is going to be reunited with their, what we call the loyal heart, the loyal partner. It also could be very symbolic of you reconnecting to to your own personal journey right now. And it's interesting. It's interesting because no, it's fine. I was gonna say it's interesting that sometimes we wait for a certain message to come through, and we hope, we wait, but sometimes in that waiting, we forfeit certain opportunities. So there's something about forfeiting or not forfeiting certain opportunities because you're waiting. So maybe you can make the waiting part fun if you're waiting for a soulmate. if you're waiting for some sort of opportunity or things to turn around as you're in this fork in the road moment of kind of trying to question certain choices, certain transitions in your life, how can you make the waiting game fun or worthwhile? Because it is your experience. This is the season that we're kind of wrapping up, the infinite discovery season is about being curious about your journey. And many of us during the season have expanded maybe our mindset about a situation that was maybe difficult at first. Now we're kind of growing accustomed to something or maybe adapting. This could have been you picking some sort of a hobby or dipping your toes into something new. So see how this fits. How is infinite discovery relevant right now in your season of transformation? Okay, so this is the part I want to kind of take a little bit of time with because this is a meditation that I want to lead right now with you guys. And I call this the following what feels expansive. So if you're up for it, you can watch the stream later, or you can sit with me while you're watching this. But this is essentially a guided meditation that I wanted to align with this infinite discovery season. This is a sample of a taste of the type of reflections and practices that are in the Infinite Discovery bundle if you want to check that out in the shop. And this is really for helping you ground and become curious and perhaps anything that has restricted your or limited you from expanding right now or following your heart. This is meant to kind of clear a little bit of the debris around your hopes, dreams, and desires so you can become a little bit more curious about your journey. All right, so let me transition to the guided meditation. I am actually going to read because that keeps me focused. All right, so I'm going to get situated. You also perhaps want to get situated and take a moment to kind of settle into your space now. All right. So I'm going to start the guided meditation following what feels expansive right now. For my collective, take a deep, slow breath in and a slow breath out. Again, breathing in and breathing out. Allow yourself to arrive right here in this space. Allow yourself to arrive in your body, in your chair. Let the messages we've explored settle. Nothing to figure out right now. Nothing to solve, nothing to force. Just this moment, this presence. Imagine yourself standing in a quiet or on a quiet path. Behind you are all the places you've been, the choices you've already made, the lessons you've already learned. And somewhere ahead, there's something calling for your attention. Perhaps it's an idea, a dream, a possibility, a direction, or simply notice what comes to mind. You don't need to know exactly what that is. You don't need to know where it leads. Ask yourself, what keeps showing up in my life right now? Allow whatever comes forward to simply be there. Why might this be asking for your attention right now? No need to search for the perfect answer. Just listen. Notice what arises. Maybe it's a word. Maybe it's an image. Maybe it's a feeling, a memory. Now bring to mind the community card. Imagine support surrounding you, not because someone else has the answer, but because you were never meant to walk every part of your journey alone. What feels expansive right now? What feels alive? Now imagine yourself taking that one step toward that. Notice how your body responds. Notice what shifts. Notice what opens. You do not need the entire path. You do not need every answer or the next step. What is one small action that you can take this week that honors what feels expansive? Trust whatever arises. Take a slow breath in and a slow breath out. One more breath in and out. And as you return, remember, life often speaks before it explains. The path often appears one step at a time, and possibility rarely begins with certainty. It begins with curiosity. It begins with awareness, the willingness to follow what feels alive. Now bring your awareness back to the room, back to the space of where you are. Take one final breath and gently open your eyes. All right, my friends, thank you for spending this time with me today. If one of these messages resonated, leave a comment and let me know which one. Was it fork in the road? Why? Questioning right now your visions, your possibilities. Maybe there's a desire to connect to a community right now, or just feeling a sense of community. Something about the community is coming up here as well. And if something came through for you during the meditation, I'd love to hear that as well. Until next time, take care of yourself and continue following what feels alive. Thank you. Bye.